Welcome to episode 3 of the John Deere X580 home maintenance kit installation. This is going to be for the fuel filter. So the fuel filter on these is right down here. It looks pretty easy to get to. I know on my 100 series, the 105 that I had, it was a little complicated to get to. Everything was a bit tighter in there. You know, of course, it was a bit smaller of a tractor. So things were a little bit more cramped, and I had a hard time kind of getting at that. The clamps that are on it were just a bit of a pain. But anyway, we're going to do this per manual. I'll read all the steps as I go, and these are pretty easy. Really not complicated, but it is one of those things that, you know, it's good, you know, to keep your mower up and going. You know, gas sit in these for, you know, longer amounts of time depending on use, and you know, you never know if you get bad gas. You just always want to make sure you have, you know, clean fuel going to your equipment. So it's good, you know, these are cheap. It's good to, you know, change these out. So only tools we should need is a set of pliers. Needle nose, probably not your best, but per usual, I can't find any of my other pliers. I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to go through and replace a lot of tools that I have and keep better track of them. But for now, I'm going to try to make these needle nose work. You'll also need some sort of either drain pan or a cup. I just have like an old paint mixing cup here that I'll use to help try to catch some of that fuel that may come out. And then you'll need, of course, a filter. So this is part number AM116304. These, of course, are in the home maintenance kit. You can buy them individually, however you choose. So, to start out, we have change filter when fuel is low. I have low fuel. I think I only have like a bar or two right now. Park the machine safely, of course. Lift the hood, of course. Let engine cool. It's been sitting here for a little while now. Put a drain pan under fuel filter. So I have this mixing cup. I'm going to put it underneath the mower. I don't know that there's a very good spot to actually like put it under that filter. So I'm gonna just set it on the deck underneath where it is, and hopefully it'll catch anything. It's kind of cramped in here, so just do what you can. All right, I'm not gonna mess with this for too long. That should work. All right. So we got a cup under there. Next, slide the hose clamps away from fuel to filter using pliers. Disconnect hoses from filter. Well, we'll get to the other steps after that. So I'm just gonna get in here and try to get my pliers around these. Pardon if my hand's in the way. Yep, see, if I ever kept track of my tools, this would be easier to get to. All right, and I got one there kind of slid off. They put these on at a weird angle too, so that it's like in the hardest position to actually get any tooling on. So when I put them on, I'm gonna actually put them back in a location that they're gonna be easier to get onto. And then on this side, do the same. Slide that back. So you can see now, hopefully, our hose clamps are slid back. And then we'll pull these hoses off. On a new machine like this, I really hope that these come off somewhat easily. I know if your machine's older, or, you know, you got to use one and nobody ever replaced one, it may be hard to get those off. So they seem like they're not going to be the easiest thing to get off. So once I get it off, we'll be back. All right, I got one side of this off. It is the uphill side. So actually, if you look at the filter, show you here if I can get in the right light. You can see there, kind of at the bottom of the filter there's an arrow. Shows which direction the flow goes. So obviously this hose is coming from the back of the tractor. The top end goes through to the engine. So you just want to put it on the same way that it comes off. If you don't remember that, or don't think to look at the arrow, even though I just told you, might not be a bad idea. But once you get one side off, go ahead and put your new filter on at least one side, so you know which way it goes in. So I didn't seat that fully, but I just have it in there. That way I know which way it goes. Then you can work on the other side. This one looks like it's on there a bit tighter. I've been trying to yank at this and it's not budging. So we'll move on when I get it. All right, I got her off. Twisting it a little bit helped to kind of just break it free of the rubber, and then just pulling on it. But I do want to show you something. If you look in here, you can see there's something in there. To me, it looks like probably a little bit of some cottonwood debris. So it's good that this filter was there to catch that. So you can see these filters well. There's also a little speck in there. There's debris all around there. So it is valuable to replace these. If that got caught up with a lot more, or if you live in a very dusty area, you have a very dry summer with a lot of dust, wind maybe, you refuel, some debris gets in the fuel tank or something when you're filling. You never know. These things have a really wide mouth on the fuel tank, so stuff can get in there, but you don't want that in your engine. Obviously with a filter it's not going to get there, but definitely a good idea to replace these. So we got that off. We'll go back around the other side here, and we can finish pushing this filter in. Kind of hard to get hands in here. There's not a lot of room. Not as much as I thought there was. So push that on. I'm actually going to move that spring clip back a little bit because I don't quite know that that seated fully in there as much as I'd like it to. It's seated where it was before, so we'll go with that. And then of course take your downstream line, push that back on, and then we need to put our spring clips back in place. So I'm going to slide them back up onto the hose where they were before, and this time I'm actually going to leave them turned to an area where it's easier to get to. A little more. There. And then same with your downstream one. Really wish I could have found my other pliers, because this would be way easier. And there we go, new fuel filter. And that is it for fuel filter replacement. Simple process. The only thing, it does mention there's a warning. Incorrect installation may cause engine damage. Install the filter with the arrow pointing in the direction of fuel flow, as I told you before. Obviously if you don't, it could not filter properly. And that wouldn't be good. Honestly, it's going to be pulling the fuel through the media regardless either way. But they're designed a certain way for a reason. And obviously you're putting a clean one on, so it's not like you're going to be pulling dirty fuel back through. Just put it on with the arrow. All right, where was I here? Connect hoses to new filter, making sure the filter was pointing in the direction of the fuel flow, install clamps, check for leaks, lower hood. So that's pretty much it. Again, this is an important thing to do. I feel like most of the time probably gets overlooked. Everybody thinks about, you know, air and oil, maybe spark plugs, but not everyone always thinks about fuel filters. So if you have any questions, anything like that, you know, feel free. I encourage you to, if you have any, you know, more in-depth question, I made an email for the channel, so feel free, email me if you have anything more in-depth to ask, or, you know, want to see something specific I did, or, you know, just know more information. That is there. So other than that, stay tuned for the final episode. We'll be swapping out the spark plugs, and that will complete it for the John Deere X580 home maintenance kit. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.